Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm back using one of the products from the MISSEES pet release, which I truly adore, and I wanted to show you these. These are the builder pets and there are 4 of them. Today I'm using the Funny Bunny set, and I'm actually only going to use the balloon and the sentiment from this set. So this balloon is adorable. I love the part where the knot normally is from the balloon. I think it's really funny that it's a bit whimsical and not straight. I also have lots of distress inks, and well, as you can see, I die cut lots and lots of balloons. I'm just going to create a variety of rainbow balloons, and while starting with yellow, I also prepped a bit because I'm making 2 cards a day that are quite similar, same product, same idea, just different placements. So therefore, I just prepped a bit ahead of time, but I wanted to show you that I'm creating these balloons, each time ink blending 2 distress inks to get that gradient, and that gradient is mostly on the left side of the balloon. So here I am again now going my greens, my blues, and then purples and pinks. Also, I am listing all the distress inks that I'm using in the description box on my blog post everywhere. These are the rainbow distress inks that I use most of the time. So just working my way, cleaning off my brush a little bit, because I don't want to lose the gorgeous cracked pistachio color, but I also don't want to have all those blending brushes to wash off, so therefore I'm being a bit lazy. Did that, and I just love this simple ink blending that I'm doing here. It is sort of therapeutic, I think, and it's really fun to see it all come together. For my purple, I am combining blue and pink actually, and I did have to fiddle a bit with it to get the purple that I wanted, but in the end we get there, and I didn't prep a purple previously, so I had to, I had to still ink blend 2 of them. So here you can definitely see me struggle. I know that this goes very well and you can get a gorgeous purple because I used it in the past on a rainbow kind of inspired card. But I had to fiddle quite a bit because the first attempt that I had on the purple was really grayish. So I noticed that I had to add more of the pink. And then in the end I came to this lovely vibrant purple color that I really like. So I just made 2 of them, as I said, and then we will have all our items prepped, including all the preparations I did ahead of time by just having fun in blending a rainbow assortment of these balloons. So as you can see, again, trying to have my gradients or my my darker color on the left side of the balloon. That's why I'm always starting there. If you have any harsh lines at that point, that's where it's going to be the darkest, so no issues with that. Also, the paper that I'm using today is Neenah. I was not going to use my Copics or any other alcohol markers, so therefore I just thought of using Neenah because I really loved ink blending in the past on this paper. So here I am doing the layout. I decided to do one of the cards quite straight, so just having all the balloons just varying in height, and then I used the present seal to help me keep those balloons on top. Now I think this purple wasn't sticking because it was really moist because of all the layers to get the purple, but I didn't mind. I knew where I wanted it to be, so afterwards I could just place it right when it didn't want to stay put on the present seal. Now for my second assortment of balloons, I wanted to have a vertical card, and I wanted it to be a bit random, the placement, and as you know, probably, the more random you want it to look, the harder it is to get placement right. So once I was happy with fiddling, and I fiddled really for a really long time, I took the present seal again and just kept it in place like that. Now, just to have a few slimline panels and not having to cut it myself, I trimmed out 2 slimline dies. Well, I used 2 slimline dies to cut it out. It's listed in the description box which one exactly, but I cannot recall at this moment while I'm doing the voiceover. That being said, as you can see, it's really easy and it goes perfectly on top of it. And then in the same stamp set you have the happy birthday, which is just a really handy sentiment. Any birthday stamp for me can have this really clean and simple sentiment, but it's really handy as well. So I just wanted it to be on top of this panel, so I stamped it out using some black. I'm going to draw in the strings of the balloons later on in black, so that's why I found it okay to use black ink for my sentiment. So just cleaning off the stamp, and then I decided to first do this card. I'm going to use some dimension, so I'm adding the Scotch 3M foam tape on top of my balloons, and then I will place it as straight as possible on top of this panel. Any balloons that don't stick, I will just add it later on. Also, there was like one of the balloons that wasn't completely straight, so just to be sure, I took it off, the green one, and then I could place all the rest first and then fill up the blanks. So there we go. And then it was all about getting those other placed correctly. Also, you can fiddle with it a bit in the beginning to get everything straight. And then I'm just adding those 2 extra balloons that weren't adhering to this present seal onto my panel. Now for the strings, I'm just going to use my T-square ruler. This card is the neatest of the 2. I just wanted it straight, so therefore the T-square ruler. Otherwise you can just do it free-handed, but I'm really bad at it. And yeah. I'm also trying to start with the string a bit underneath the knot of the balloon. And once I added one to each of the balloons, I am continuing with the second card. So again, stamping out the sentiment, this time doing the vertical cards. So I place it straight into my MISSEES and then stamp it a few times to get a good impression. Now for these balloons, I wanted to play a bit with dimension, also fiddled a bit with some balloons that weren't completely straight. Again, this is sort of random, but you know how much effort. So I just added some thin foam squares everywhere, also overlapping in between the balloons just to have everything stuck to each other. Why not? And then I'm going to remove the backings. Now, I didn't do one of the balloons because it was really overlapping a lot with the others, and I needed some more adhesive than only the small area that you can see here. So I'm just making sure I like placement, and then I'm pressing it down really well before lifting up the present seal. Then for this one, I am also going to use the thin foam squares, but I'm going to combine it with some liquid glue as well. And then I'm adding it. And then, well, I really like this layout. Then I had a bit, well, I was scared that with putting the strings on there that it would look rubbish. So I again used the T-square ruler. You can freehand it. I would have loved to also do a little bow on the bottom, but again, it's something free-handed, and I am really scared at this point that I will ruin it by just doing things myself. I already overlapped some of the strings with the balloons in front of it, so we were already challenging ourselves here. Well, I was doing that. But in the end, I really like how it turned out. Maybe a bow on the bottom would be lovely, but I don't want to draw in anything myself if I have fiddled this long with placement. What I did do was adding some dots, some just not on every balloon, just on a few, just with a white jelly roll pen, adding a few details. And I really think that it was a lot of fun to add them. You can definitely doodle as well on the balloons, I think, or use some of the stamps that are included in these sets, because you have all the builder pads and these items, but there are many extra stamps included in each set that can be to add some more details if you want to, so definitely play around with that. I just decided today to keep it as simple as possible, only using one stamp, one die from this amazing Funny Bunny set. And now I have my 2 panels ready, so I'm just going to add them on top of a Slimline card base. I'm using this Tombow MAXI power tape, which is a really good tape. I have now some in my craft room, and from time to time I'm using them. I'm really liking how strong it is, and also the application is really simple, and I'm not losing any of the adhesive. It's all on my paper. So these are my 2 cards, really simple cards, really vibrant with the rainbow balloons that we made. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and of course that you like the end result. Don't forget to check out all the inspiration. There is an Instagram page MISSEES by Karen Joan, where the design team and other guest designers are really busy with showing and showcasing all of the amazing products, so check it out. I want to thank you all for stopping by, and I'll be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!